Hi everybody, my name is Isa and this is Moody Eye Makeup channel. Today I'm doing a review on new foundation from Maybelline, which is called Super Stay 24-Hour Skin Tint with Vitamin C. If you're interested in this review, test wear, then please keep on watching. But before, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I have to admit that I'm a little bit skeptical already about this foundation, so I will really try to be open-minded. And the reason that I'm so skeptical is that I've tried it a little bit on my hand. It felt very dry and it was the lightest shade in the range, at least in our drugstore, and it felt quite yellowish. So yeah, we will see. I would really like to like it. First, I like to read their claims so that later we can see if they lied to us, basically. This is a non-stop power drop, is infused with vitamin C and creates a bright, natural look that lasts all day. Our vegan formula brightens and delivers beautiful skin-like coverage for a natural, radiant finish. 95% said skin looks healthy. Weightless feel resists sweat, humidity and fading. Suitable for all skin types, including sensitive skin. Available in 18 shades. 18 shades is quite impressive. I'm a little bit skeptical that it's suitable for all skin types, because if you are in one side of the spectrum, I don't know, I have extremely dry skin, so I'm on that side of a spectrum. If you have extremely oily skin, you're on the other side, and usually we cannot wear the same foundation. So we will see. And I really like the claims that this is natural, radiant finish, that it's weightless feel, resists sweat, humidity and fading. So this foundation should be perfect for summertime. So they recommend using fingers or beauty blender. You can build it up to medium coverage. Now let's just try it out. With test wear, I'm going to show you how it looks under natural light as well, and I'm going to compare it to L'Oreal True Match Nude Plumpic Tinted Serum and with Nude Drop Tinted Serum Foundation from Catrice, because there you can see they have the same concept basically. The bottles are the same, all that jazz, and all these foundations are very liquidy and lightweight. First, I'm going to use my fingers, but you can drop your foundation on your hand. I'm just using this palette. I'm just going in. Okay, now it looks nice. Yeah, it is a little bit yellow. It's really lightweight. It's very easy to blend it into your skin with fingers, and it looks really natural. But yeah, it has a little bit more of a yellow undertone, so it's not, I wouldn't say this is a neutral shade. This is, I totally forgot to mention it, this is in the shade 3. So this one was the lightest in our drugstore, and they only had 3 shades in our. Okay, so I'm using a little bit more, just so I can see how much I can build it up. Although it is quite yellow, I think that I can pull it off, but I would prefer a neutral undertone, that's for sure. Okay, and I have to say that I'm quite impressed. I was very worried that this is going to be extremely dry. It felt dry when I tried it on, but maybe that's because I was trying a tester. I'm not sure. I'm going to see how it's going to wear, because if you have very dry skin, sometimes these kind of very liquidy foundations can become very dry after a few hours. The skin can eat your foundation, and then you're left with this powdery leftover of foundation, sorry, and I hate that look. I hate that feeling on my skin. But I have to say that this is, yeah, this is lightweight and you can build it up to light to medium finish. So far I'm impressed. I haven't used a lot and you can see the difference because right now I have some redness going on my cheeks and you can see that it covered it quite well. I'm going to use my beauty blender for my left side of the face. And it's very interesting. They claim that this foundation is suitable for all skin types and it's not dry at all. I wouldn't say it's very dewy, but it has some like dewy finish to it. Maybe because I've used more heavy moisturizer underneath, I'm not sure, but I left it for a couple of minutes to sink in before I went in with my foundation. Okay, so this foundation is blending in really nicely. It's very easy. I would actually recommend using, both fingers or beauty blender. It works both ways. Maybe I feel that with beauty blender it looks just a tiny bit more heavy because for sure I've used more product than using my fingers, but so this side already dried down a little bit more and it looks like skin. So now I'm just concerned about how it's going to feel after a few hours, because if you already watched some other videos, you know that I hate foundations that dry out on my skin throughout the day, because if you have very dry skin, that's the worst. But so far I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. I think that now drugstore is stepping up their game and they're doing better and better with foundations, especially with this type of foundations. But that looks flawless. And yeah, you can totally build it up to medium coverage. It feels lightweight, it looks lightweight. They didn't lie about that at all. I'm sure that it's not going to last for 24 hours. I don't believe in these claims, and I would prefer brands wouldn't do that, because you just feel like you're being lied to. Because I have such a dry skin, I wouldn't powder this foundation. If you are normal to oily skin type, then you should totally powder your face after using this foundation, but you probably already need to do that, so that's nothing new. Now I'm going to apply my concealer. I've applied my concealer, it went on really nicely, and now I'm gonna try to apply on top of this foundation cream blush, and then, or maybe, first cream blush and then bronzer in a powder form, just to see how it works if I don't set my face with powder. Yeah, that worked just fine. And of course, when I'm recording, again, my neighbors are buzzing with something, probably mowing their grass. Again, that's like every time. Last year, every time I was recording a video for YouTube, my neighbors were talking right next to me. But this year they're mowing their grass. But I love my neighbors. They are fine. They're not bad people at all. It's just like coincidence, you know. That went on beautifully. So you will not have any problems with blending cream blushes on top. I'm using my Pat McGrath bronzer to see how it's going to work. Yeah. As I expected, not a problem. Okay, now I'm going to do the rest of my face and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've done my face. If you're interested in this eye look, then you can check out my next video that is coming up. It's a review of new drugstore eyeshadow palette. I've applied a little bit of highlighter here as well, and it went on like a butter. I have to say that so far I'm really impressed by this foundation, but we will see throughout the day how it's going to wear. But now we can compare these three drugstore foundations that have kind of the same concept. So I'm going to first apply this one that we are reviewing today. It's the Maybelline Super Stay foundation, and I'm going to, so we can compare the shades as well, because I've bought all three in the lightest shade. Then it's the one and the only true match from L'Oréal Paris. So watery. This is way more, it feels way more hydrating, the true match. It's way more slippery, I would say. But the colors are very, very similar. I'm quite surprised. I don't know why this, like the one from Maybelline, looked really yellowy in a drugstore. Maybe the lights, or they mixed the testers and I'm testing the different shades. I'm not sure. And then the one from Catrice, Nude Drop Tinted Serum. The only problem I have with this one from Catrice is that it oxidizes and it becomes really yellow. So the formula is great, it's extremely watery, but so extremely dewy, the most dewy of them all. But the formula, you can see it's oxidizing, and yeah, it's not working right now on me because it's way too dark. Maybe like in 2 months, that when I'm going to be a little bit darker, this is going to work. But like, can you see how it oxidizes? It's crazy. So I find this one from L'Oréal Paris True Match to be a little bit hard to blend in. I need a little bit more time with it, and as I said, this one from Catrice oxidizes. So far from all of these three, I like this one the most so far, but I will have to see how it's going to work on me, because it may be too dry for me. Then True Match is going to be my favorite, but yeah, I feel that it is, yeah, a little bit dry. Maybe like if it's very, like if it's going to be really, really hot, then this is going to work for me perfectly. But like in a winter time, I prefer like really dewy foundations. They are all kind of serum-y type of foundations. They all are like glass or imitation of glass, and then this pump, which I'm not a big fan of this type of packaging, but it feels more luxurious. It looks nice, but it can be a little bit messy. Like this True Match foundation, I would prefer to have it in different packaging because I have to clean it up really frequently. So I think that this is going to happen with this one exactly the same. But yeah, okay, so now, so I'm not talking too much. I'm going to show you now how it looks under natural light, and then I'm going back in few hours before I take my makeup off, so we can see how it wore. My main concern is that it's going to or disappear on me, or that's almost exactly the same thing, but that my skin is going to feel really dry. So stay with me to see the final results. Okay, so this is how this foundation is looking outside. You can see that it's still, like, my redness is still peeking through, but it's nothing too much. And it looks actually quite buttery and beautiful, and it's not matte at all, which I really like. It's quite late. I have been wearing this foundation for at least 8 hours, for sure 9 hours, and yeah, I'm looking a little bit rough. It's been a long day. So I'm not particularly oily, but that's also because I have such a dry skin. I'm really impressed. My skin looks exactly the same as it was. Maybe I have a little bit less of foundation around my cheeks, but that's because I'm like leaning on my hands all the time, and I was in theater today and it was a long show and I was leaning because I was quite sleepy. I can see in some places foundation, if you know what I mean. Like maybe just a little bit here, a little bit around my nose, and a little bit here, but that's like if I'm being extremely picky. My skin, it's not particularly feeling really dry, but it doesn't feel plump or hydrated. That's also one thing that it's almost impossible to get both. So if you want longevity, you cannot get full-time hydration. I think that this foundation will be received the best with people with normal skin. Finish is quite radiant, and if you have problems with controlling your oils, then maybe you won't be such a big fan of this foundation. But if you're somewhere in the middle from normal, maybe a little bit dry, maybe from normal to oil skin type, you're going to love it. So I think that this is going to be perfect for me for winter time, for very dry environments. I'm going to prefer maybe something a little bit more hydrating, but like as I said, that's me being extremely picky. But as with everything, I will have to get back to you after maybe 1 month or something like that, to give you my final thoughts, because sometimes you can be surprised in one or another way, because the true test wear is after at least 1 month. But that's like impossible for me to do, or it's not impossible, it's just like not very practical for my YouTube channel. But my first impression is, I would say 9.5 out of 10 for a drugstore foundation. I'm taking that in consideration as well. Those are my final thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please comment down below. And I really want to hear your thoughts on this foundation if you already tried it out. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you in my next video. Bye.